This is Nahida Alameen. Today I'll be talking about one of the famous brands, Christian Dior, I'm sure which we all must have heard of. In the early part of the decade, new styles were being developed by American designers like Adrian, Cordell, and Pauline. Many designers of this time preferred a lighter and a less structured aesthetic than what was in the norm of the French fashion. For women, this meant a wedge silhouette with wide shoulders, narrow waist, and a single pleated A-line skirt. Regulation L85 limited amount of fabric that could be used to make the clothing, so hemlines rose to around knee length only. Popular in 1940s outfits for women included square-shouldered jackets with simple blouses and matching skirt and short-waist dresses in long or short sleeves. Kitty-foil dresses, thanks to celebrities like Katharine Hepburn and Marlene Dietrich, pants were a staple in women's fashion then, usually paired with a colorful blouse and a matching coat. With silk and nylon rationed and then banned in clothing, women would either go without stockings or would create illusion of by them by putting tan makeup on their legs and drawing a line on their cuffs to mimic a seam. Common accessories were fur coats, gloves, halo hats, pillbox with veils, and clutch purses. Even in the early part of the decade, many men wore military uniform, but those who did not had to deal with the same clothing restrictions like women did. Many men chose to wear older 1930s style with suits to support the war effect by conserving the material. Early 1940s, they had to wear suits, fitted look, and were worn without a vest. Pants were skinnier and made without cuffs, so many men bought longer pants and cuffed them at home. Ties were worn in Windsor knots and made of conservatively colored. The close of the 1930s had brought with it the start of the World War II. As World War I had in the 1910s, World War II had a very impact and profound effect on the fashion industry in the first half of the 1940s and even after the war had ended. France, the United Kingdom, United States, and all other had distinct fashion stories during the first half of the 1940s due to the impact of the war. After the war, those fashion stories began intersecting again with the arrival of the Christian Dior's new look. So the picture is here is that we can see really shows how the clothing were inspired with the World War II during that time. Let's talk about Christian Dior, the founder of the brand. Christian Dior was born in Granville, a seaside town to the coast of Normandy, France. He was the second of the five children born to Maurice Dior, a wealthy fertilizer manufacturer, and his wife, formerly Madeleine Martin. He had four siblings, Raymond, Jacqueline, Bernard, and Catherine. When Christian was about 5 years old, the family moved to Paris but still returned to the Normandy coast for summer holidays. Next, if we look at their family, Dior's family had hoped that he would become a diplomat, but Dior was artistic and wished to be involved in art. To make money, he sold his fashion sketches outside his house for about 10 cents each. In 1928, Dior left school and received money from his father to open his first small art gallery, where he had a friend and they sold art pieces by Pablo Picasso. The gallery was closed 3 years later following the deaths of Dior's mother and brother, as well as the financial troubling during that time that resulted in Great Depression after losing his father. From 1937, Dior was employed with the fashion designer Robert Piguet, who gave him the opportunity to design for three Piguet collections. Dior would later say that Robert Piguet taught me the virtues of simplicity through which elegance must come. One of his original designs for Piguet, a day dress with the short full skirts called café anglaise, were particularly well received. In 1942, when Dior left the army, he joined the fashion house of Lucien Lelong, where he and the Balmain were primary designers. For the duration of the World War II, Dior, as an employee of the Lelong who labored to preserve the French fashion industry during the wartime for economic artistic reasons, designed dresses for the wives of the Nazis and including French collaborators, as did other fashion houses that remained in the business during the World War II, including Jean Patou, Jean Lanvin, and Nina Ricci. His sister Catherine, who served as a member of the French resistance, was captured by the Gestapo and sent to the Ravensbrück concentration camp, where she was incarcerated until her liberation in May 1945. He named his debut fragrance Miss Dior in tribute to his sister. Christian Dior is a multinational company based in France which engages in the production of the distribution of the several consumer goods. The company was founded in 1946 with its headquarters in France, Paris. It also branches in several cities like France, Europe, US, Canada, Middle East, Asia, and the Pacific. Though the Dior brand was founded on the ideals of femininity and classic timeless fashion over decades, it has evolved into a bold, feminist and powerful designs. The French brand, which dates back to the 1940s, has been providing customers all over the world with some of the most beautiful garments, whether it's a ready-to-wear dress bed for a cocktail party or a hot couture red carpet gown that will command the attention of everyone in the room. It was the Dior's first show that he coined the term "new look". The thought behind the collection was to showcase the end of the World War II, according to Culture Trip, and it came with structured silhouettes, hinged waist, and shorter billowy skirts. The garments were opulent, each dress using an average of 20 yards of fabric. Dior's designs were revolutionary for the time period and quickly put to fashion house on the map as one of the most sought after and adored. Stars flocked to Christian Dior. Everyone from Rita Hayworth to Margot Fortin wanted to fit themselves in this new look, and that was ahead of its time during that period. With such high-profile women donning his clothes, the brand grew very quickly and cemented itself as one of the most iconic sartorial history. The picture here shows the early days of Dior. Christian Dior SA is a holding company which engages in the design and sale of fashion accessories and beauty products. The company operates through five business groups, if we can see them. The company operates through five business groups such as the Christian Dior Couture, wines and spirits, fashion and leather goods, perfumes and cosmetics, and watches and jewelry. The Christian Dior Couture Group designs and manufactures and sells luxury articles. The Fashion and the Leather Goods Group manufactures leather handbags, shoes, and small leather goods. The Wines and the Spirits Group produces various wines and other spirits. The Perfume and the Cosmetic Group sells fragrances and the cosmetic products. The Watches and the Jewelry Group designs and sells watches. Now, it all started in the 1940s with one unique vision. I love the following quote from the Mansour Dior: "We owe to tradition, to destructive, to keep it alive and actual every time again." I think this quote embodies the nuanced balance between the tradition and disruption that perfectly represents the spirit of Dior. As classy as it is visionary, the Maison Christian Dior has a rich and extraordinary cultural heritage rooted in the French tradition of couture, elegance, romance, and refinement. Now, in 1947, Christian Dior's first collection sparked a revolution in the fashion world. The Coral collection, the new look with its sculpture, opulent silhouettes, helped the women in the post-war period to realize the dream of a more joyful and beautiful future. This new look continues to be reinterpreted even today. Creativity and vision remain the heart and soul of Dior. Its mission is to protect and develop the legacy of the Maison while continuing to draw upon it as a source of inspiration and pride. If we talk about the mantra of the brand, we can see that the dream of Dior and vision is to preserve and nurture the brand by reinforcing its desirability and relevancy in all major markets. This vision honors Christian Dior's historical and traditional values, the French elegance, couture, and femininity, but also reposition Dior as the house of dreams, more vibrant, more appealing for a younger audience, daring, innovative, and disruptive with accents of joyfulness and an injection of explosive creativity. Dior, as many brands, communicate on its products but also on its brand through various supports and media. Fashion magazines such as Vogue or Marie Claire and TV spots are indispensable media for the fashion brands as Dior, where we can find some ads focusing on their products rather than the brand itself. The ad is always really very elegant and sophisticated, with quite often on the appearance of a famous person being on the muse of the brand. The logo also represents in a simple way reflecting the strength of the brand with the clear recognition and association with the French luxury reflecting high quality products. If these ways of communicating remain more classical, where the consumer can easily rely on the values of the brand with the dream touch, the real power of Dior's brand is the way to communicate on the brand itself and its history. Indeed, if fashion shows are an occasion for luxury brands to highlight their own couture clothes and increase their reputation among consumers, Dior has developed through years a further way to develop its image of excellence and unique know-how. Dior uses a both unique selling proposition where it convinces its clients that the quality of its product is superior to that of the competitors at an emotional selling USP as a way of promoting their impulse buying customers. Now, if we talk about the current situation of the brand, we can see that the Christian Dior Group recorded the revenue of 44.2 billion euros in the first 9 months of 2021, which up 46% compared to 2020. Organic revenue growth of the period was 40% compared to 2020. Compared to 2019, the organic growth of the first 9 months of 2021 was 11%, with the trends in its third quarter plus 11.11% comparable to those of the first half, both activity by the region. Now let's talk about the operation of the multiple lines. Christian Dior, commonly known as Dior, is a French luxury fashion house controlled and chaired by the French business Bernard Arnault, who also heads LVMH, the world's largest luxury group. Dior itself holds 42.36% of shares of voting rights within the LVMH. Christian Dior operates a network of more than 130 boutiques around the world. Now let's talk about the market positioning of the brand Dior. The market segment that a firm targets define the product quality and pricing strategy that it has to employ. Dior targets high-end customers who are always willing to pay high prices as long as they are assured of the high-quality products. Therefore, they don't necessarily need to see the product because they believe that and know that the product is actually premium. For their market positioning, they uses the demographics, psychographic, and the behavioral segmentation strategies within the consumers to fix on a specific position. Next, if we look at the value proposition, we can see that the company has made efforts to keep the same values promoted by its original founder, Christian Dior. Indeed, primarily a female brand, after World War II, the designer wanted to liberate women from the horror of the war, but also wanted to give them joy of lightness by creating elegant clothes with new design. Though earlier Dior focused only on women, it has diversified its products in for men under the brand of the Dior Home and for children under the brand of Baby Dior with the same aspect of perfectionism. Their business models actually speaks a lot for them. Christian Dior is a manufacturer, distributor, and retailer of the luxury goods. The company develops and sells wines and perfumes and cosmetics and watches and jewelry, fashion and leather goods. Christian Dior's products portfolio includes champagne wines, high-end still and sparkling wines, spirits, bags and accessories, footwear, jewelry, and eyewear products, ready-to-wear products, watches, leather goods. The company also offers makeup and skincare products and fragrances and beauty and the body care products. Now let's have a look at the four pillars of market positioning. For their product, Dior designs and markets leather goods, ready-to-wear footwear, fashion accessories, timepieces, jewelry, makeup, and fragrances. For the place, the company believes in direct selling and has a network of the efficient workforce that is trained and capable of to offer professional services. Of course, with the pricing, it has adopted a premium policy. For promotion, it has established its ads at profession magazines like Vogue that caters to premium clients. Needless to talk about the competitors these days. Competitors to Dior include many among the house of Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Prada, Versace, and so on. Some important recommendations for the brand. It is undisputable that the company has more strength than weaknesses, but it also must focus on sustainability, should use its strengths to cope up with few weaknesses, open a separate line for teenagers, and put some extra effort in order to focus on all genders and ages so that it does not have a biased market segmentation. That will be all from my end for today. I thank you all for being so patient with me. Thank you.